Hi everyone, and welcome to our video tutorial today on Master and Dependent Rates. To ensure you have a good baseline understanding of standard rate setup with the Newbook, we do recommend that you first watch our basic rate overview tutorial prior to watching this one. Master and Dependent Rates are a rate structure that can be set up within Newbook, and essentially it will allow you to bulk update pricing quickly. As an example, we can have a master rate which might be the lowest price we charge at our property. Then we can set up a dependent rate that connects to this price, and it can increase or decrease by a fixed amount or a percentage value. If at any point you need all of your rates to be increased, you can then simply update the one master rate, and all of the dependent rates connected to it will automatically calculate off of this new master value. This can be a great time saver, especially when it comes to extending out your rates for the upcoming year. Instead of creating new rates for each style of accommodation, simply update the master, extend your rate periods, and all pricing will be automatically updated to reflect these new changes. To create a master rate, first head to the Add Rate page within your menu search. In the top, you'll then need to specify that it is a master rate that we're creating. Now, this is the baseline price that we want things to be connected to. So we fill this in as we normally would. And we also want to ensure that we set as many default settings in this rate so that our dependent rates that connect to this will automatically have these flow through to them. So everything can essentially follow off of the master. As we've now successfully created our master rate, we can now go in and create our dependent rates that we need to link to that master so that the pricing can again be connected and automatically updated. So to do this, we're going back to our rates page, add rate. In the top, the first thing we need to do is specify that it is a dependent rate. And once we've selected that, on the right-hand side, we'll have a drop-down option where we can then select the master rate that we've just created. Now, because we've specifically advised that it's a dependent rate, you'll notice that on the right-hand side of some of the settings within the rate, we have a downwards arrow. And if we hover over that, it currently advises that it's using the master rate settings. So this is indicating to you that whatever the master rate is set as, the dependent rate is following or connecting to. Now, if for any reason we needed this dependent rate not to follow the master rate in certain areas, such as the amount of occupants that are included in the rate, or maybe even the additional occupant pricing, what we can do is simply click on that arrow, and that will then allow the area to be opened up and edited so that you can make that adjustment. So it will essentially follow the master rate in all other areas other than this one particular setting that you have overridden. If we move down to our rate base price section here, you'll see that when it's on a dependent rate, it gives you some drop-down options under the base price section here. This is where we set whether or not this particular dependent rate should be increased off the master rate or decreased. Now we can do that by increasing or decreasing by a fixed dollar value or a percentage value. As an example, if we pop this on 10% more, it will then be 10% on top of whatever our baseline master rate is, which in this scenario is 100. So it's going to be $110 when I apply this to the category of accommodation that it is actually for. Now I'm going to create another dependent rate that is also connected to this master rate. And this time it's actually going to be a lesser value. So it's actually going to decrease the overall master price by $10. Now that I've got this created, what I'm going to do is then apply my rates as I normally would with rate applications. If we now head to our rates chart, at the bottom in our rate chart settings, we have the option to display master rates that are currently active and applied to dependent rates over the current dates that we're looking at. As you can see, we've got a price that is $90 for one style of my accommodation, another that is $110. Now, if I wanted to simply update my pricing so that everything increased by a $10 amount, instead of updating two rates, I can go in and update one. Again, if you happen to have other dependent rates that are connected, so you might have 10 dependents, if they all connected to that master, again, all I need to do is update one instead of 10. I can double click on the master rate from here and open up in a separate window, simply edit my price, and then you can see once I've changed that, back on my rates chart, you'll see that those dependent rates have automatically adjusted. The same can be applied if you were doing a rate override. So if I wanted any dependent rate to be increased or to be adjusted, I could simply do a rate override on the master rate. So this can be done from the rates chart using our Add New Rate Override button. And once we're on this screen, I just simply need to select that I want to do an override on a master rate specifically. I then select my dates, and you'll then see down the bottom I can make my adjustment to the pricing and then save. If we have a look back at our rates chart, you're then going to see that those dependent rates have again automatically adjusted based on that new override over those set dates on our master rate. As you can see, the master rate functionality is a really effective way to manage your rates in the long term. That does bring us to the end of our video tutorial today. As always, if you do have any further questions, be sure to click the question mark icon in the top right corner. That will expand our knowledge base and it will show you recommended articles relating to the page that you're currently viewing. You will also see the search bar at the top if you're wanting to locate any other articles on any other Newbook features.